Good evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, a body was found in Manchester. Tullahoma City Administrator resigns, and we have highlights from Mayor Noyes' quarterly planning and coordinating committee meeting. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than going for a run. Give it a shot. Find a free appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Welcome back. On Tuesday morning, Thunder Radio reported Manchester police were investigating after a body was discovered behind the Manchester Walmart located at 2518 Hillsborough Boulevard. Tuesday morning, according to Manchester Police Department Chief Investigator Brandon Tomerlin, a Walmart employee placed a call to 911 at approximately 10:52 a.m. reporting of an unconscious male located behind the store. Police arrived to discover a deceased male. Police have not yet been able to notify the deceased person's next of kin, therefore a name has not yet been released. The body has been sent to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy. Tomerlin could not specify whether or not foul play is involved at this time. Tomerlin explained, quote, "There aren't many details we can release at this time as this is an ongoing investigation," end quote. More details will be released as soon as we have them. Newsletter has it on good authority that Tullahoma City Administrator Jennifer Moody has resigned from her position with the city. We also believe she will soon announce that she has been hired by the city of Belle Meade. Ms. Moody has had a tough relationship with Tullahoma Alderman Jenna Armarker for over a year now, and with the election of the newest board member in August, she has been expressing increased frustration that the board won't let her do her job. We have reached out to Ms. Moody for comments and hope to have a statement from her as soon as possible. We wish Jennifer the best of luck in her future endeavors. We'll be right back after these messages.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Welcome back. At last week's Mayor Noyes' quarterly planning and coordinating committee, Lynn Seaborn and Winston Brooks spoke to the group about activities from the Tullahoma Area Economic Development Corporation.
Lynn Sebring, Chairman of the Tullahoma Area Economic Development Corporation, TADC, and Winston is going to give the report for that. I'm also one of your county commissioners, and I just wanted to foot stomp what Dave said about county cooperation. It seems to be going well. We're working hard at the county commission level to improve that. We've got a strategic planning group together, and we're talking a lot about that very topic as we work through that. And as a matter of fact, this evening we'll be meeting with the Manchester mayor and a couple of aldermen to talk about cooperation between the county and the city moving forward. So appreciate that. And most importantly, I was proud to be a vote caster for Randall on Tuesday night for the important position he's retained.
Thank you. All right. Well, so I'm last. I've got 10 minutes, so I'm sure no one will matter if I take the full 10 minutes, right, Mayor? 15? Oh, I could go 5 minutes over. No, thank you so much. Winston Brooks, Tullahoma Area Economic Development Corporation. Thank you, Lynn and David, for encouragement. Obviously, Tullahoma is going through a little bit of a boom time right now, and the entire region and the county. As we all know, Tullahoma is a great place to come and do business in and bring your company to and set up shop here. And so we, beginning of the year, we're looking to plan out the travel for our conferences that we'll be going to this spring. And I want to just reach back to what David was talking about with Dot Foods. At that groundbreaking, I believe they donated $100,000 to local charities and schools, so that's just an unbelievable company, great work. And I know Stephen is now out of country working on a foreign direct investment project, no doubt, right? So, no, it's been, really enjoyed working with Stephen Crook. And one of the projects that we're working here on in Tullahoma is one of our missions is to market our area, to attract new businesses, capital. And so we have partnered with the digital arts group at the high school to begin really studying how we can track all the advertising and marketing that we're going to do through our group. So I'm looking forward to that, working with them. They're just a really sharp young group over there, and they've got a great CTE program, which was featured as part of our video that was done in the Association of Defense Communities video, that if you haven't seen, go look for it. It's why Tullahoma is a great American defense community. That was a huge accolade that we received last year, and it just shows that we support the mission of the Air Force Base. That's really, the $864 million impact that the base has. That's kind of why Tullahoma exists. And one of the important things that we always want to talk about that the Great American Defense Community designation is so important is that the Department of Defense won't issue new missions to bases where they don't have community support. So it's incredibly important, and we're so fortunate to have all the contractors and Air Force and the people that go, the skilled craft folks out there that are supporting that. The good news in Tullahoma is that there are, like mentioned, a lot of people that want to come and invest and set up shop here in Tullahoma. The bad news is there are a lot of people that want to come here and set up shop, and what I mean is there are not very many sites available. So when we talk about locating a commercial business, a retail site, it's 100% leased just about. I think I saw the other day on LoopNet, there were 2 retail stores that were for lease. So we're working with our partners and our consultants to try to develop new retail shopping centers where they might go. Same with industry. We have some industries that want to come here and locate. We've got the air park, but other than that, we are very limited on our industrial sites. They're old, kind of outdated, low ceilings, and there's 4 of those available right now. So there are some grants going on that we're working on to administer. Hope mentioned the facade grant downtown, so if you have a business in the downtown area and are interested, there may be time. It's kind of coming to a fast close. There is a public improvement part of that, and so you'll see some activity going on in the alleyway that leads to the dumpsters that support our dining district, our restaurant area down there. And so our restaurants are so important for the downtown area, kind of to generate activity. So that will be happening in this quarter or the next, and we'll be letting out the bid for the little bit of construction that will have to happen there. A lot of the construction will be around enclosing the dumpsters back there, so we control what's happening, kind of keep it up, tidy it up a little bit. We'll put in some lighting, some benches, And there's also some small business training coming up, and so we've partnered with the Chamber and our consultants at Retail Strategies. So please watch for that in January, later on this month or early February. The training session will be, it's free to all small businesses. It's a business owner and property owner toolkit. And then we'll be following it up the following month with an omni-channel training. We have some restaurant training. And I think the last one is business modernization. So please be watching for that. Like I said, this is a free benefit for our local businesses here. And I'm certainly welcome to take questions. And if I can ever be of service, please contact me.
More news is coming up in a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop-top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. And I grow and get bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash junking up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Welcome back. Also at last week's quarterly planning and coordinating committee meeting, Tullahoma Chamber of Commerce, Hope Nunley, executive director of the Tullahoma Chamber, also spoke to the crowd.
Well, hello, everyone. I am Hope Nunley, Executive Director of the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce, and we have had so many things happen since I last stood in front of this group. First, I just want to say that we ended 2022 on a really, really high note, and just want to thank each of you that helped us accomplish all of our goals that we had for the year. I'm happy to report that the membership is extremely healthy. We met our goal of 450 members, and so again, just very excited about that and looking to build on that for 23. We are currently working on our 2023 Think Tullahoma magazine, which is our strongest marketing tool that we help promote Tullahoma. So anybody that walks in our office, whether they are a guest for the weekend, they are looking to move here, or they're planning to open a business, gets a copy of this magazine. And so it is an extremely important tool, and we are putting the finishing touches on that. We are also working hard on the 2022 membership celebration that's going to take place on Friday, February 17th at the Coffee County Conference Center. We are still accepting reservations if you have not made your reservation yet. We are also still accepting nominations. So we are asking the public to nominate for Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Citizen of the Year, and CEO Business Partner of the Year. So if you know of anyone that you would like to see honored and celebrated, please do make those nominations. You can do that on our website. The coffee this month, so we have a great coffee planned with Beechcraft and Good News Magazine, and it's going to take place on Tuesday, January 24th at 11 a.m. and invite you all to join us for that. It's always so wonderful to visit Beechcraft. So please do join us. And then next month, February, we will be at South Jackson Civic Center, and I have a feeling there's a little Mardi Gras theme planned. And then in March, we'll be at Brookdale. So again, just invite all of you to mark your calendars and join us for those. It's free to attend. There's food, networking, and door prizes. So a great way to spend an hour with your local leaders. We are also accepting bids for 2 different projects at the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce. One is a photographer to help cover some various events and things that we have planned throughout the year. And the second is to help us with our facade grant that we are currently working on in partnership with the City of Tullahoma. And so please be looking for more information on that. Our Coffee County Leadership Program is well underway. We're about halfway through the program. Currently, we have 24 class members. Yesterday was nonprofit and healthcare, and next month is education. So if you missed the program this year, just encourage you to be looking for information for next year's class. And then last, I just want to remind everybody that we are accepting ribbon cutting nominations or requests. So you can make those on our website, and we have 3 different options. We have a free option. We have an option that includes confetti cannons and lots of fun, exciting things. And then we also have a non-member rate. So if you're celebrating an anniversary or a relocation or a renovation, new management, anything like that, we want to help celebrate your special day.
Mary Samaniego also spoke at the meeting.
Thank you. I'm Mary Samaniego. I'm the Tullahoma Planning Director. Because it's January, it's that time of year, I thought I would, at today's meeting, go through the 2022 year in review numbers with you. The Planning Commission approved 6 rezoning applications last year. The Board of Zoning Appeals approved 4 variances. We did a total of 2 zoning ordinance or subdivision regulation text amendments. 19 new home occupation permits were issued for local residents. We approved administratively 16 non-residential commercial site plan approvals. So those are 16 sites in the city for commercial industrial office uses that did a major renovation for their property or new construction. We did a total of 35 subdivision applications within the city limits, as well as the Franklin County and the Coffee County urban growth boundary areas, for a total of 214 new lots within those 3 areas. Of those 35 subdivisions, 3 were major subdivisions. 1 major subdivision is in the Coffee County urban growth boundary, and the other 2 major subdivision is in the city limits. Lastly, approximately 46 additional new housing units were added to the housing stock for Tullahoma this past year. As far as looking ahead in 2023, we'll continue to work on updating a comprehensive plan for the city. We will continue to administer the Eastern Gateway Grant for the South Anderson multimodal improvements. It's the Cedar Lane grant for the transportation study on Cedar Lane should be wrapping up and be ready for presentation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen this upcoming March or April. So that's exciting. We'll finally have a full transportation study complete for Cedar Lane from Jackson all the way down to Clements. And then just we're anticipating doing a series of text amendments, as Mr. Schwer had stated, to our zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations to simplify them for public use and to make them more streamlined with the current policy decisions of the city. Other than that, that's all I have for today. Thank you.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Owning and transporting firearms is a responsibility that should not be taken lightly. In 2021, there were 4,818 firearms stolen from motor vehicles in Tennessee.
Some of those were then used in violent crimes. It is imperative that you keep your gun out of sight and secured when it is stored in your parked vehicle.
If you must store a firearm in an unattended vehicle, make sure it's in the trunk, glove box, or the interior of your vehicle in a secured lockbox. Secure your gun properly when parking in a public area. Securing your gun properly when you're not carrying it is not only the responsible thing to do, but also the law.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency recently released this video showing how they use license fees to help build fish habitats in Tennessee lakes.
We're at Percy Priest WMA, and today we're talking about fishing, and more importantly, we're talking about habitat.
Kind of gone into this reservoir habitat initiative, and this was just one type of fisher tractor that we plan to deploy through that project.
We're putting together what we call pipe structures. So these are corrugated pipe, black corrugated pipe, and we've got concrete blocks that we're putting them in. And this will create some fish, basically fish habitat.
They're on the 60-pound bags, but I think there's 3,200 pounds in a pallet, divided by 60 pounds a bag. I slung them all.
Took that for a workout.
Yeah, you don't need to go to the gym when you do this.
We're going to build about 400 of these today. About 400 we're going to actually pour with concrete. And once the concrete sets up in about a week, we'll be able to deploy them out in the lake.
So you may be asking yourself, why are they taking all the time to build all these structures just to throw them in the lake? Well, it's because our lakes are getting older, and underwater looks like a desert.
Most of our reservoirs have been impounded for 50 plus years, and all that natural woody habitat's gone. And it just provides these fish a place to go. We're going to take them out, and we're putting about 50 per buoy side. We've got fisher tractor buoys out on all of our reservoirs, and we're going to put about 50 of these on every side.
One thing about these is that they last a lot longer than our Christmas trees, cedar trees. And the other thing is that we try to make these so that you can run a spinnerbait through it, run a crankbait through it, and not get hung up.
And we have placed some around some fishing piers and other things, and we know that they work. We've electrofished and all kinds of fish, from bluegill to crappie to bass to you name it. Everything is in there, so kind of excited about these.
There'll be 50 of these on those buoyed sides. So if you think about it, there's 4 of these pipes per block, so that's 200 sticks sticking up, essentially. But that plastic is buoyant, so they do almost looks like a palm tree under the water.
We try to build them as best we can by pouring a lot of concrete around them. What's nice is that you've got they're kind of this ribbed texture, kind of like putting a screw into wood. You know, the concrete will wrap all around it.
A structure like this might last forever.
We actually had a crew back in the 80s that had put some out in both Percy Priest and Normandy, and those are still intact and working, and so that's a good thing.
Basically, your algae and microorganisms will get on there first after a few weeks of being in the water, and what that does is it attracts your smaller fish, which brings in your bigger fish, and hopefully anglers will be successful. I mean, that's why I got into this field. I want to make fishing better. I'm a fisherman myself, so I care about this kind of stuff. This isn't going to make more fish, but it's simply going to take the fish that are in there and hopefully concentrate them around these structures to hopefully make fishing better.
Coffee County Sheriff's Department officials have made an arrest after a rash of vehicle burglaries that occurred in the early morning hours of Monday, January 16th. In custody is Jordan Tremaine Isabel, age 30, of Manchester. Isabel faces a litany of charges, including possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, 3 counts theft of property, and 6 counts of burglary. On the morning of January 16th, Coffee County Sheriff Department investigator Brandon Gullett, James Sherrill, and Cody Kuhn were notified of several vehicle burglaries in the Riverwood subdivision area. Multiple victims had video footages of the suspect. One video showed a clear image of a GMC Terrain or Arcadia. Deputies later identified a light blue GMC Terrain sitting in a driveway on Emerald Lake Run, which matched the vehicle in the burglary video. Investigators observed that vehicle leaving that driveway and performed a traffic stop The vehicle was allegedly being driven by Isabel. Investigators were told by another passenger of the car that Isabel had handed a gun to someone inside the vehicle and instructed them to get rid of it once they were being pulled over. A later search of Isabel's residence led to the discovery of an iPad which was stolen and 2 pistols, one of which was stolen earlier in that day. Also discovered was a credit card belonging to someone else. According to the Sheriff's Department report, while monitoring phone calls, Isabel was heard speaking with relatives and admitted to the break-ins during the call, saying he did it due to the fact of him not having any money. Isabel is currently being held in the Coffee County Jail. Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1933 at 70 degrees. Record low was in 1994 at -4 degrees. Average high on this day is 48, and the average low is 29. Mostly clear weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of 33. Mostly sunny weather on tap for Friday with a high of 48 and a low of 27. Sunny weather in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 51 and a low of 39. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.